let's go ahead and talk about Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, shall we? If you're bouncing because you're done, you're not worried about Contender Series, thank you again so much for being with me. I appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your evening. I hope you enjoy your night, and good luck on any degenerate action you've got running on baseball, basketball, or hockey this evening. So what we've got on Contender Series, I'm going to try and keep this quick. We've got Cody Brundage taking on William Knight. Cody is a guy who looks for the takedown early. He's got a heavy top game. He's only fought a very, very low level of competition, but he is training with guys like Anthony Smith and Zach Cummins from just last week. So he was literally in fight camp with those guys. And now he's coming around for a shot on the Contender Series. That's a great camp to be coming out of. Great timing to be peaking with fighters that literally just fought at the UFC level. And he's taking on William Knight. Now, William Knight is a guy who actually was on the Contender Series Season 3, and the UFC gave him a development deal. They wanted to go ahead and invest in this kid. And, Josh, no, I'm just taking the over in that fight, or in that hockey game. So William Knight, he's on the Contender Series. He wins by knockout. He knocks everybody out. This guy's an absolute monster. He's so big. He's solid muscle, and he just crushes people. But he's super sloppy. I think he's got too much muscle on him. Honestly, I think he's one of these guys that bulked up a little bit too much, that it actually gasses him and it becomes a detriment if he doesn't get you out of there early. But kind of like a Alonzo Menifield, dude can crack. He will absolutely flatline you if you give him the opportunity. And I watched the weigh-ins this morning for this fight, and he looked bad. He missed weight. And I know that's kind of a big deal for my post-weigh-in show on Friday. So, yeah, sorry about that, Prod. Just realized I had the wrong background up while we're talking about these fights. So what ended up happening here? He missed weight by like 2.5 pounds. Just massive, massive beefcake, this dude. He looked really bad on the scales. And when they faced off, Cody is huge. Like, the size advantage is unreal for Cody. The fact that that guy is a grinder, a wrestler, and the fact that William Knight missed weight and looked bad at the scales, I'd be very, very tempted. I haven't done it yet, but I'm very tempted to bet Cody here. They're kind of bouncing this one around. It's not really a smart idea to step in front of Knight because, like I said, he's just got that knockout threat. He's that guy that could put anybody down at any time, and Cody doesn't have a ton of experience, so it's a little bit of a shot in the dark. But if I'm trusting my reads based on the weigh-ins, I think Cody Knight can't make it past round 1. I think if Cody doesn't get the Knight, I think that if William Knight if he gets out of round 1, he's going to gas in round 2, and then Cody will be able to take the fight over. Yeah, he missed weight. 2.5 pounds, and he looked awful on the scale doing it. So I've got to lean to Cody. Not sure that I'm going to pull the trigger just yet at this point. I'm kind of hoping the money comes back in on Knight and gives me an opportunity to bet Cody at a dog price because Knight's the guy that the UFC has put their stamp of approval on. We've got Jose Johnson coming up. Ronnie Lawrence is his opponent. Now, Jose Johnson is super light on his feet. He's got serious speed, vicious elbows, but he's got these really long, skinny legs. He explodes out of everything. He relies on that explosiveness, and he throws flying knees. He has all the abs. He has so many abs. You know, you see people that have like the 4 or the 6-pack, and you're like, I wish I could have that. And then you see the guys that have like the 12-pack. He's got a really lanky torso, and he's got every single ab muscle you could ever imagine. So that's what that guy rocks. Then we've got Ronnie Lawrence on the other side. Trains over at ATT. Dude fires hard leg kicks, which I love to see. Explosive knees. He moves well. Good footwork. And he was in good shape. He looked pretty good on the scales. But Johnson is so much bigger. Johnson's absolutely massive on the scales. And what I did is I went ahead and put Johnson in a little bit of a parlay. So I got Johnson at minus 185. And it looks like he's been bet all the way up to minus 225. You all know those Contender Series lines. They move, and they move fast. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you real quick right now. My parlay is plus 137. I got Johnson and Lutz. Lutz is the other favorite I stuck in there. I got both of them at minus 185 in that parlay. Now we've got minus 205 and minus 225. So if you want to tail me on those picks and parlay those two together, I would do it sooner than later. These are the kind of ones where I think they're just going to get steamed all the way up to somewhere in the ballpark of, God, who knows with the UFC Contender Series. Who knows how wide those lines will get? They might be minus 400 by the time fight time rolls around tomorrow. So that being said, I showed my hand already. I like Lutz. He is taking on, let me get that fight up here, it's out of order. He's taking on Chase Gibson. Now, Chase Gibson, his last 4 fights in a row ended in round 1. This guy's got good kicks. He's a power striker. He floats well on top, but he's been fighting bums. And because of that, I think that's going to go ahead and bite him. Every time he's taken up a step up in competition, he's fought somebody decent, he gets crushed. Tucker Lutz on the other side of this thing, active off of his back if he gets put there. He's got super strong top control, heavy ground and pound, and he looked fantastic on the scales. There's not a ton of tape to be seen out there with Lutz, so I'm kind of going out on a limb here based on the little bit that I did see. Now, Chase Gibson's a knockout threat. He absolutely could land a knockout blow in round 1, but I think that Lutz is the better fighter, and I think if this thing, again, gets past the first couple minutes of round 1, that it's just going to be Lutz all day. So that's my parlay. I've played those 2. Then I've got Jimmy Flick, who I locked up as a plus 145 underdog. Now, these are half unit shots. The volatility of the Contender Series is something that I'm still trying to figure out. So I went full units last week, and I lost a couple. So because of that, I'm backing it back down until I get a real good feel for the Contender Series. I did take the stab here on Jimmy Flick at plus 145. It looks like he's now down to plus 130. Again, these lines move, people. They move like crazy. So Jimmy Flick, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, absolute submission wizard. This dude chokes everybody out. He chains submission attacks. He looked amped up, excited, really, really good on the weigh-ins. And then he's fighting Nate Smith, who's an Elevation Fight Team member. This hurts my soul just a little bit because I'm such a fan of Elevation Fight Team. And he's coming in, obviously, good camp, good strong wrestling. He's got good balance, a good jab, but he keeps his chin out there. He's one of these guys that does this thing just a little bit too much for him. He sticks his chin up in the air, and when he gets to the mat, he's got devastating ground and pound. So if this fight goes to the floor and Nate Smith is the one that gets on top, then I really think that he's going to get a ground and pound KO. He's also got a tight squeeze. You don't want this guy on your back. If you can play totals, I don't think Jimmy Flick versus Nate Smith lasts very long at all. Mario, what's up, buddy? Just brushing, man, brushing. I did the Invisalign. When I was a kid, I did the Invisalign, and it worked wonders straightening my teeth out. I didn't have braces when I was playing football, so didn't have to be one of those guys spitting blood out and stuff like that because the metal got up in there and chewed your gums up. So pretty happy my parents did that for me. I'm very, very grateful. There you go, Josh. Got plus 175. That's a nice line right there. I wish I could get that one myself. And then the main event of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Melik Baghdasaryan? Taking on Dennis Bozukia? Yeah, really tough last names, not bad names. Really tough last names to pronounce. Malik comes in here against Dennis. I'm just going to call them by their first names. Malik has been training MMA since he was 6 years old. This dude is serious. He fought in K1, Glory. He was the WLF kickboxing champion. Very serious striker. This guy is athletic and tough. The only downside I see to him is that he trains with Edmund Tavarian. Now, yes, Ronda Rousey's Edmund Tavarian. Head movement! That guy. So, we have recently seen Edmund's fighters all top out, right? We just saw Shabazian get absolutely derailed. We know Ronda Rousey, even after they were talking about her being able to outbox Floyd Mayweather, got taken out. Like, Edmund is not a good coach. I'm sorry. But this kid is legit. He's been striking at a high level for a long time. He's legit. Taking on Dennis. Dennis has these powerful clinch knees. I loved watching those things. And he's willing to trade in the pocket. He also throws these spinning elbows. And he's got a bad spinning elbow knockout, which that's a fun one to watch. Go look his highlights up. He is in serious shape for this fight. Dennis looked absolutely solid. And he's training out of the Ray Longo fight camp. So he's training with guys like Marab, Aljo, Weinman. I mean, he's got a sick fight camp. Thick, well-muscled. Love this kid. So I really lean Dennis in this spot. And I think that's because of his ability to have a better mixed martial arts game. Dennis might be able to mix in the takedowns, put Malik on his back, that kind of thing, nullify that striking game. And we've always talked about the threat of the takedown. Just if he can put that question in the mind of Malik, that he's going to take him down, that shuts down a little bit of that striking offense. So yeah, I think Dennis is going to be the pick here. I don't know if I'm actually going to bet it. This one's a straight pick 'em, and it's another one of these bangers that really could go either way. So I am thinking slight lean to Cody Brundage. Probably not betting it because Knight is just such a monster and can knock out anybody, even though he missed weight and looked bad on the scales. Slight lean to Dennis. I have bet Jimmy Flick, and I've parlayed Jose Johnson and Tucker Lutz. That's my look, folks. That's my Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series.